So I've stumbled upon this, and it's a site where when you enter it, you're on this rotating globe, right? So I'm going to get you to do a bit of visualization.
Ready?
If you're a listener, I'm going to get you to close your eyes, especially if you're driving.
No.
Yeah, close your eyes and imagine this if you're driving. So you're on a rotating...
But you should be watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, watch it on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Hit us up on all the channels.
Or on Spotify. You can watch it on Spotify now.
And so imagine you're on a rotating globe, right?
Okay, all right.
And you can see all these cities to click on, and so you click on a city, and there's a 3D Google Street View, which shows what the city will look like throughout time. So basically, you can click through 2030, 2040, and 2050.
Okay.
And
20, 30,
mostly
40,
you can
50,
see
yeah. So it's all the future.
Exactly, yeah,
Okay.
and you can see predictions of how things will progress.
Oh, okay,
And
that's
so
cool.
what happens is this article. It's some of them are a little bit silly, and some of them are super interesting. And so probably things that aren't that far off what could actually happen as well. And also they're great opportunities for business ideas. So if you think about that thing about how prophecies become, what you think about is what actually happens.
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
Gotcha.
And so if you actually think about that, then you could actually make that, and then that could actually be the future.
Yes.
Right? And so these people are writing all of these articles. Some of them are kind of cyberpunk style. Some of them are future thinking writers. And some of the ideas could definitely be used to form a startup. So before I start the segment, I want to throw it back to 1967. So people predicted 1999 homes and futures. So one of the predictions was that each home would have its own home computer to act as your secretary, librarian, banker, or medical technician, as well as your bridge partner. So that's keeping in mind that the first personal computer was actually invented in 1975. So they didn't actually have personal computers you could use in the home. And so I thought they weren't actually too far off 1999, since many of the homes did start to get home computers around the time.
Yeah.
You had Windows 98 out at the time. And if you take a step further, here we are in 2023, where we can do our organizing, reading, we can do our banking, getting in touch with our doctor fairly easily.
It's true.
And we can play games just like we thought.
It's not, yeah.
So all of those roles are fulfilled today with what they were kind of thinking with secretary, librarian, banker, all that kind of thing. So future thinking, right? So basically, as you click on each city, you can see some predictions. So I'm going to go through some of these predictions. So 2040 Barcelona, low-cost accommodation in mega cities will mean buildings up to 10 kilometers tall, built-in pyramids, which will act as miniature cities within themselves. Residential accommodation, businesses, shopping, social, cultural, and recreational areas will all be included in the same.
So it's like a
mega
stationary
building.
cruise ship.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Wait, what year is this?
And so that's the 2040 prediction.
2040?
Right? Yeah, pretty soon. So
That's 17 years away.
well, yeah, but some of these predictions are from 10 years ago as well.
And
so
that's the
some
key.
of them are some of them have been collecting for a long time.
okay.
So I'm not exactly sure when that one was.
Okay.
But they could start construction on that. And if you look at that
Good, yes.
and you think about the wall that they're building in Dubai, the huge wall city, they've started to
yeah, I don't know that much, but yes.
they've started to construct that. So that's
I've
kind
heard
of
of
the same
something.
thing as well.
Yeah,
so
okay.
by 2040, it's possible that one will be
Yeah, I mean,
there.
yeah, sure. Maybe I shouldn't have laughed.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe you should have though. Some they do sound dumb, like all future predictions. I think
All future predictions do also often sound quite funny.
often sound funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2050 Barcelona is a world where personal data. This is just the area I got fixated on this for two of them, but the other ones will be different, right?
Okay.
So 2050 Barcelona is a world where personal data leaks about banking credentials and passwords for online services won't matter because of biodata obtained from medical and police databases that are able to be used to counter forging of biometrics-based personal documents. So basically, you'll be able to verify and trust that something originally came from a person using the biometrics of that person, using that DNA evidence.
You'd also think that by that point, there'd be some pretty serious biometric fraud as well.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah.
To counteract that. But yeah, continue.
And so obviously for verifying
I
and
certainly
trusting-
agree that some, 8-letter password's really not going to be relevant at that point.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
No.
I mean, you'll have a supercomputer that can crack it. So that's the issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll get to that point where people can forge these documents and use them for blackmail,
Yep.
releasing personal health information about people or
Yep.
ransoming information.
Yep.
as well as this, insurance companies and other services will be able to refuse services to people based off their health data. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's a little bit like Tesla's insurance that changes your premium based on how you drive the car,
Exactly.
and it can track it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool link. So all this health data will be able to be captured by wearable gadgets like bracelets,
Yep. Yes.
glasses, which capture vitals, headphones that capture brain activity, smart
Haha.
speakers that are listening to things that they probably shouldn't. A lot of that already exists today.
Yeah,
And so I wonder if this was
you make good points.
I wonder if it was written before Alexa. 2050 Tokyo will show the first 3-hour flight to New York with a jet that can hit extreme speeds,
Wow.
as well as that algae farmed from the ocean will be used as biofuel. That's the thought there.
Interesting.
So underwater farms, which is an interesting thought.
That could be for next week.
That could be for next week. Yeah,
Since you love farming so much.
exactly. I'm going to do agri section every week. Agri segment.
Agri corner.
Yeah, Agri Corner, yeah. 2050 Malaysia will show the first use of people switching perfectly healthy body parts for electronic pieces that improve vision, function, or hearing.
Cyborgs.
Exactly. Block your ears if you're extremely capitalist on this one. 2050 Istanbul will show the first use of a moneyless society called Netural, which is an AI system similar to a search engine, which follows you around and will take and as you freely take certain goods and services,
Yeah.
you can later do something for someone else too, and the system in between will work out the exchange of services and goods. For example, you give someone a bag of tomatoes,
Yeah.
and later you get free Spanish lessons from someone else.
So it's actually harking back to the original like trading of goods and items.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's actually
but it's sort of like a system which can track.
But it's got to value that in some
Exactly.
some currency.
Oh yeah, that's why I said don't listen to it if you're a capitalist. 100%. I
That's
agree.
got some flaws.
Yeah, I agree. But it's an interesting thought, isn't it?
It's an interesting thought.
2040 Brussels in Belgium will have a mass chip implantation to stop illegal immigration and to control the population's crime rate in public areas. That's very dystopian, that one.
Mass chip. What?
Yeah, so like chip, like,
Chippies.
chippies, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I know what you
injecting chippies.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't have to eat them.
Bro, I love chips.
So yeah,
Like I need that in my body any easier.
You need an IV drip with Smith's chips loaded in the top. Different types of chips. That'd be great. That's a good business idea right there. I'm sure also, speaking of one of the previous
Doesn't it
ones.
seem weird calling them Smith's chips?
Oh yeah, it is weird. It is, yeah.
It's like my friend's last name's Carmen. He's always eating Carmen bars.
Common bars.
But
Yeah.
he assures me he's not related. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea before of chip implantation, like someone did that in with their Opal card in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
And so they put
he
that
put the
in
chip
there.
in his arm or something.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
people.
Oh, people
that are-
hate that stuff too. People are really against that stuff.
Yeah. Super against. There's also the sharing of services and stuff like that. There's already systems out there. Like there's already platforms which allow you to do things like this.
Yeah.
And so on the app, you say, I gave a free guitar lesson. Can I have a free Spanish lesson? So
Yeah.
there's already systems that are kind of
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
It's a very socialist idea. It's not bad. It's but I'm not sure how it would work in practice.
It wouldn't.
So yeah, a lot of the very, we know how you feel. So a lot of very weird ideas in there. Some of them are pretty cool. There's also a lot more ideas on the site. I just scraped a few from there,
Yeah.
but it's pretty interesting to see the Google Street View with the artist's impression of what
really?
that time
Yeah,
will
that is
look
cool.
like. Based
So
on
different
some of those
people are
articles.
writing these articles and they've chosen locations.
Yes.
And you use this map like graphic to find the article.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of
cool.
them, I mean, some of them are just future thought articles that they've just put on a location.
Yeah.
Which
And presumably the people who are writing this stuff are not necessarily like highly technical. They're probably more like novelists and writers, right?
yeah, some of them are definitely
Yeah.
novelists and stuff, and
Yeah.
some of them definitely just have a great idea for
Yeah.
a future, and so some of them
That's cool.
some of them will definitely be dead wrong, and some of them will possibly be correct.
Yeah,
but
maybe, yeah.
either way, I think there's a lot of cool ideas about what to work on.
Yeah.
If you're kind of looking, or if you just want to look at a few predictions of the future.
Yeah.
And have a laugh or have a think.
Yeah,
and,
it's good to have a little laugh sometimes.
It's good to have a. It's
We
good,
like a laugh.
It's good to laugh at other people's ideas. Or podcasts.
Just had a laugh then.
Yeah, very good.
There you go. You just had one.
Yeah, great.
Another one. And another laugh. Have you heard the Carl Barron bit where he does that? Where he goes, you guys, I can make you all laugh by saying random numbers or something. And then
Yeah.
he'll say like 49 and then everyone laughs. And then he goes 51 and then everyone laughs. And he goes 64 and everyone laughs. It's very funny.